Anyways, I'll say this here, and actually, you know, I'll talk about this more here in a minute. I've got, is it johnebii? Yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to pronounce this here. So we've got johnebii on the phone. How are you, johnebii?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing really good. You're on the air.
All right.
Now, where are you from, man?
I am from the south suburb of Dallas, Texas.
You're from oh, you're in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Which suburb, if you don't mind me asking?
It's a little town called Gainesville, Texas, just south of the Red River, as you're going into Oklahoma.
Okay, hold on a second. See, okay, because I used to live over in Oak Cliff.
Oh, I know where that is.
Yeah, it's a difficult part of town.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I mentioned you earlier. I don't know how long you've been listening, but I mentioned your comments actually on the UFC and the girl fighting video.
Yeah, I heard the whole thing.
Oh, you heard the whole thing?
Yeah.
That's good, man. So, what's that? Yeah. Oh, hold on. I got my co-host here. I don't know if he can hear you because of this. Yeah. Okay. So, but anyways, are you a fan of my lovely co-host?
You know, I'm not really familiarized myself with the co-host. I saw her in a couple of the YouTube videos, and I think I was even asking you there on one of them. I watched all your videos before I saw her in any of them, and so I was under the impression that she was a new addition to the show. And so I think on one of them there I said, when did you pick up the co-host? But I never got any more information on it. So I can't say I'm a fan, but I'm not nothing against her, you know.
Yeah, just lack of information.
Just lack of information.
You know, there's actually been people who have tried lobbying me to show her on the videos.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of those comments, and I've seen a couple of guys on your videos that look like they are just wondering about the studio, and they really just want to come by your microphone area there and just kind of lean their head into the frame.
Yeah.
So they'll be on the YouTube videos, you know.
Well, we're popular.
Right. I mean,
Yeah, we're a good show. Yeah, we're infamous.
Right.
That's right. So anyway, so you you know, it was well, is there anything, first of all, is there anything you'd like to say about my comments pertaining to what I said earlier on about the UFC?
Well, yeah, I could comment on that. You know, I don't understand your whole fascination with the UFC, the MMA thing. I'm still kind of where I was at on the you know, comments we traded there on YouTube. I don't understand what the outrage is. You know, in my opinion, it's these tough guys. You know, these meatheads that want to get together and test their strength against another meathead that is of the same mind as they are, and you know, a bunch of people want to sit around and pay to watch it, and I don't understand it. I make fun of people that work that get all into it, and you know, they know every fight and things, and they keep these magazines where, you know, they have their up and coming fighters and the up and coming fights and stuff, and I'm kind of sitting there at the break table asking these guys, you know, what are you doing watching these guys just roll around on this mat, you know, together? And I don't understand it, but I also think it's relatively harmless, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I have to admit, you make some good points, and I don't admit that often, and I'll probably edit that section from the video. But the thing is that, you know, it's not as much a moral outrage as it is, I'm probably just hyper-analyzing a group of people, and I could probably do the same thing with most any sport. And I could have even taken it from the angle that, you know, what does it do to male sexuality when these guys just absolutely love watching sweaty guys, you know, run around and jump on other sweaty guys? I mean, there's some. I could have taken it from the culture warrior angle, but you know, it was mainly about the women. It really was, because it was that one issue in Time magazine where they actually had these women fighting each other, and I was watching. I said, man, there's just something wrong about, in my opinion. Something just doesn't settle right, and it doesn't mean I want to go and ban it. It just means I'm just not a big fan. I think it's below what civilized humans would do.
Well, that may be a good point about the civilized humans, but I think we're maybe not dealing with civilized humans when we talk about the kind of people that are really into this, sport. So I think you're right about that. But I applaud you for saying, just because I think it's wrong doesn't mean I think it should be banned, because I'm sure you're well aware that there are people that do not operate under that assumption that if something is wrong for them, then they don't agree with the government stepping in and banning it, because you have, people from the left and the right that think, if it's not agreeable to 51% of the population, then we should automatically, jump in and do away with it and step on everybody else's personal freedoms in the meantime. So
yeah.
I applaud you for, not getting government involved with it, but I don't understand the outrage at the same time.
Yeah. So, okay, then for the record, I will say I'm not outraged. I will actually try to look at it more from the angle that you have brought up, because that was an excellent point that you brought up, and even just the fact we're not dealing with civilized people. I mean, I'm imposing a standard on a group of people that they're just not. It's just not a civilized thing to do.
You expect too much of these guys. You're expecting too much.
Now, is there any other comment you wanted to give? Is there something you want to talk about real quick?
Oh man, just one thing I caught up with you on another guy, and the username, by the way, is johnebii, and that's II. My name is the second. Where I grew up, if your mom and dad named you something Junior, everybody just called you Junior. Hey Junior, get over here. So they said they didn't want to do this to me, so they named me the second. So my username is johnebii, and that II, if you type it in Google, makes it Roman numeral number 2. Okay.
Yeah.
But I got hooked up on this other conversation that you were having on another YouTube user's comment section about this race thing, and I sent you that video, I think, on the race and racism and my thoughts on that. But I was thinking about this today, and between then and now, I got on YouTube and I was watching this great segment with Charlie Rose and Thomas Sowell. And he was talking about, Thomas Sowell.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thomas Sowell has he wrote an article just recently called Driving While Black, which was really good.
Yes, and I read that. And he was having this whole conversation with Charlie Rose about Clarence Thomas and how supposedly Clarence Thomas benefited from affirmative action, and then, he supposedly turned his back or sold out. And Thomas Sowell has written articles about that recently, too. He supposedly sold out, But he was talking about how this, is a fallacy of the left, that all these affirmative action programs that really help black people, progress and all this different thing. Dr. Sowell was talking about, I don't know if I should say doctor, but Professor Sowell was talking about how when he first started out as a professor, when he walked into a room, he got instant respect. He could feel it, the respect in the room that he got, because not only was he a professor, but, during that time he was a black professor that obviously had difficulties, rising to that type of position during that time. And he would, get compliments and things. And he even had one student that kind of slipped up, he said, in his words, and said he was surprised at the quality of the course that Professor Sowell was putting on. Well, fast forward about 20 years, and now he's teaching at UCLA, and this student comes up to him afterwards and after class and asks him about a passage in this book that they're going over and what it means. And Thomas Sowell told the student what it meant.